In this video, we will be focusing on solving logarithm problem. So the relationship between a exponential function and a logarithm is the following. A with the power of n is equal to y. To find the volume of n, you need to use logarithm. So log base a, y is going to be equal to n. So they're reversed. And there's few rules about logarithm. The first one is the following. Log base a xy is going to be equal to log base ax plus log base ay. Log base ax over y is going to be equal to log base ax minus log base ay. Log base ax with the power of p is going to be equal to p times log base ax. Another one is changing base rule. So log base ax is going to be equal to log base bx over log base ba. And b can be any number. Another one is the indented rule. So if log a base ax is equal to log base ay, then a is equal to, x is equal to y, sorry. Another one that I want to introduce is the following. So this may not show up in your textbook. Log with the power of a, log base a with the power of p, let's say n. I don't want to use the letter p. So a with the power of n, and here is x. This is going to be equal to 1 over n times log base ax. And I am going to prove this rule here at the end of the video. So now let's do some example. Y is equal to log base 525. What's the value of n? Value of y. So 5 with the power of y is equal to 25. So 5 must be equal to 2, because 5 squared is equal to 25. Y is equal to log base 3, 1. How do you solve for y? So 3 with the power of y is equal to 1. Then y must be equal to 0, because any number with a power of 0 is going to be equal to 1. So here what we can say is log base a. If here the number is 1, then a must be equal to 0, right? Because any number with a power of 0 is going to equal to 1. Log base 16.4 is equal to y. What is the value of y? So there are two ways of solving it. The first one is, 16 is equal to 4 squared. So I'm going to roll 4 squared because here has a number of 4. If you wrote it like 16 is equal to 4 with 2 with a power of 4, it's going to also work. But then you need to change this number 4 here to 2 squared. So here this is going to be equal to 1 over 4 times log base 4 is equal to y. And here is going to be equal to 1. So 1 over 4 is going to be equal to y. You can also solve the problem by using simple algebra. So 16 with the power of y is equal to 4. So 4 with the power of 2y is equal to 4 with the power of y, 1. So 2y must be equal to 1. Then y will be equal to 1 over 2. So it's just two different ways of solving the problem. Y is equal to log base 2, 1 over a. What is the volume of y? How do you solve for y? So here, 1 over a is equal to 2 with the power of negative 3. You know this because is equal to 1 over 2 with the power of 3. So this is going to be equal to log base 3, 2 with the power of negative 3, and you can move negative 3 to the front. So this is going to be equal to negative 3 times log base 2, and log base 2 is going to be equal to 1. So y is equal to negative 3. Y is equal to log base 5, 1. What is the value of 5? So we know y must be equal to 0 because here the number is 1. And any number with the power of 0 is going to be equal to 1. So log base 2 a is equal to y. How do you solve for y? So here you probably know 2 cubic is equal to a, so y must be equal to 3. But let's solve this by using the logarithm rules, so you can be more familiar with logarithm. So a is equal to 2 with the power of 3, so you can move 3 to the front. So this is going to be equal to 2 times log base 2, and log base 2 is equal to 1. So this is going to be equal to 3. So y is equal to 3. Let's do another problem. Log base 7, 1 over 7 is equal to y. What is the value of y? So 1 over a is equal to 2, is equal to 7 with the power of negative 1. So you can move negative 1 to the front. And here is going to be equal to 1. So y is equal to negative 1. Log base 3, 1 over 9 is equal to y. What is the value of y? So log base 3, 1 over 9 is equal to 3 with the power of negative 2. So you can move negative 2 to the front. So y will be equal to negative 2, because here it is equal to 1. Let's do another example. Log base y, 32 is equal to 5. What is the value of y? So y with the power of 5 is equal to 32. Then y must be equal to 2, right? And you probably know this when you see the problem. But let's just solve it by using algebra now. So we know 32 is equal to 2 with the power of 5, which is equal to 5. So you can move 5 to the front. Now you can divide both sides by 5. So log base y2 is going to be equal to 1. Then you know y must be equal to 2. Let's say log base 9, y is equal to negative 1 over 2. How do you solve for y? So there are different ways of solving this problem. So 9 is equal to 3 squared. So now this equation becomes 1 over 2 times log base 3 y is going to be equal to negative 1 over 2. And then you can divide both sides by 1 over 2. So log base 3 y is going to be equal to negative 1. So y is equal to 3 with the power of negative 1, which is equal to 1 over 3. You can also solve this problem by using simple algebra. So 9 with the power of negative a half is going to be equal to y. So this is going to be equal to 9 with the power of negative a half, and then here will be negative 1. So So this is equal to square root of 9 with the power of -1, which is equal to 3 with the power of -1, which is equal to 1 over 3. But it will be easier if you can change 9 to 3 square and then take the 2 to the front. Log base for a is equal to y. What is the value of y? So here, there are also different ways of solving that. So we know 4 is equal to 2 square, and a is equal to 2 cubic. So the equation becomes this. Now we can take 2 to the front and 3 to the front. So 1 over 2 times 3 times log base 2 is going to be equal to y. And here is going to be equal to 1. So y is going to be equal to 3 over 2. Right. Let's do another example. If log base 4, 1 over a is equal to y, what is the value of y? So you can use the same method. So 1 over 2, so 1 over a is equal to 2 with the power of -3. 4 is equal to 2 square. So this is going to be equal to 1 over 2 times log base 2 times 2 with the power of -3 is equal to y. So 1 over 2 times -3 times log base 2 is equal to y. And this part here is equal to 1. So negative 3 over 2 is equal to y. If you want to change 4 to 2 square, you can also solve it by using simple algebra. So it will become something like this. Log base 2 to the -3rd power is equal to y. And then you can move -3 to the front. And now you need to solve this part first. So let's say log base 4 2 is equal to x. How do you solve for x? So 4 with the power of x is going to be equal to 2. So x must be equal to a half. Right? So here it will be -3 times a half times is equal to y, which is equal to -3 over 2. So it is always easier if you realize here if it is equal to a with the power of n, right? Because sometimes it might be a little bit hard to identify this. Log with the power of 9, 1 over 28 is equal to y. How do you solve for y? So this problem is very straightforward. So log base 9, 1 over 81 is equal to 2 with the power of -2. So you can move -2 to the front. Y will be equal to -2. So there are different ways of solving this problem. 9 is equal to 3 square. 1 over 28 is equal to 2 with the power of -2, which is equal to 3 with the power of -4. You can also solve the problem by moving, 2 to the front, -4 to the front, and you will also get a volume of -2. Right? So there are different ways of solving one logarithm problem. Now let me prove this formula here. So log base and a with the power of n, x is equal to y. So a and y is going to be equal to x. And and x is equal to u, so a with the power of u is going to be equal to x. Now we can solve u by using logarithm. So log with the base of a, x is going to be equal to u, which is equal to ny. And then you can divide both sides by n. So 1 over n times log a, x is going to be equal to y, which is equal to the equation here. Alright, now you have proved this formula here.